So here's your next review question. All right, I'm only going to give you guys about 30 seconds. This one's super brief. Good. Yep, I know. Good. Yeah. All right, final answer, please. Good. Good. All right. All right, good. I'm going to go over the correct answer now. So final answers need to be submitted. Good. All right, so slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So I have y equals, slope is your m. A few of you messed that up. Slope is m. So it's negative 1/3 x. Plus b is your y-intercept plus 6. So this is your equation in slope-intercept form. All right, next question. Percent of change. I'm going to give you a hint for percent of change. And it wants the percent of change, so your answer should be a percent. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. We can round it. All right, final answer, please. All right, here we go. We're going to start going over the final answer for this one. So the hint that I gave to you guys was to find the change. So how much did it change by? And divide it by the original amount. So how much does it change from 22 to 28? Goes up by 6, right? And then what was the original amount? 22. So you type into your calculator 6 divided by 22. And that gives you a decimal. 0.272727. Keeps going on forever. To convert a decimal to a percent, you move that decimal 2 places to the right. That is 27% of an increase. Yep, 22 to 28. All right, next question. Please graph this inequality. Solve and graph. Solve and graph. All right. We're going to go over this one in 3, 2, and 1. All right. So for this question here, the first thing you had to do is balance the inequality. I'm going to add 7. 2x is less than 15. Divide by 2. X is less than 7.5. And because I'm dividing by a positive, I keep my inequality symbol the same. So on my graph, I'm going to do 6, 7, 8. It's an open circle on 7.5, arrow pointing to the left for this one here. Questions on that one? All right, next question. I'm going to give you a pretty major hint on this one as well. So in this problem here, we're dealing with an inequality, right? And we're also dealing with an absolute value inequality. So this is one of the problems where you have to deal with two scenarios. With absolute value, we could have the positive 13. So I'm going to go ahead and have 3x plus 7 is less than or equal to the positive 13, because the absolute value of positive 13 is 13. But the other thing that can happen, what's the absolute value of negative 13? 13. So now we have to take into account the fact that this 13 could actually be a negative 13. So we multiply by a negative 1. And when we multiply by a negative 1, what does that do to my inequality symbol? It flips it. Good. Now go ahead and finish those and graph. It's okay to have decimals, by the way. What's that? No, the absolute value is gone once you take into account the positive and the negative 13. All right, we're going to start going over this one. So for this question here, we already split it into two different inequalities. Now, for this first inequality on the left, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 7, subtract 7. I get 3x is less than or equal to 6. Divide by 3, x is less than or equal to 2. So on my number line, I'm going to go ahead and put a 2. Is that an open or a closed circle? Closed circle. And my arrow is going to go to the left because the inequality symbol is pointing left. Now for this one right here, I'm going to subtract 7 again. I get 3x is greater than or equal to. I've got a negative 13 and a negative 7. So I'm adding all those negatives together. That's negative 20. Then divide by 3. And you get x is greater than or equal to negative 6 2/3. So that's a negative 6 2/3. So negative 6 2/3 would be over here on my number line. Open or closed circle. Closed circle. In what direction is your arrow going this time? To the right. So this is one of those and statements where your graph comes together. Last question. This is our last one. Yeah, that last one can be a free one. Sure. Yep. Free. So this is your last one. And I'm not actually going to come around and check this one. Tell me what is the slope? What is the y-intercept? On your own. Your slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Your slope is this positive 1, 4. Make sure it's positive. And your b, remember, it has to be a negative 7. So if you did not take the negative, you got it wrong. It's a negative 7.